Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler. I am live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Preacher Season 3, Episode 7, Hilter. not the other name, Hilter, which at first we thought it was Hitler. Forget, I'll just say it. What does it matter? But good catch, Dennis. Dennis Bethaukas down in San Diego, my co-host. This episode title is Hilter.
Yeah. I was trying to see what it was. I looked it up on the guide on DirecTV now, and I was like, and I looked at it as like Hitler spelled with H-I-T, right? And I'm looking at it, it says H-I-L-T-E-R, and I'm like, Hilter. Okay, it's Hilter. And then I looked it up on IMDb. I'm like, no, it's actually it's supposed to be Hitler.
No, you messaged me and you're like, dude, we're gonna get demonetized and flagged before we even start the video. I'm like, well, what are we supposed to do? And then I didn't catch it, but for obvious reasons, they changed the name, I guess. Or there's Hilter it could mean something from the freaking comic. As far as I know, I don't know.
No, the actual episode is called Hitler on IMDb, so that's what it is called. But for some reason,
on DirecTV or AMC is calling it Hilter, and Sling has it in Hilter. I can even show you guys if you don't believe me. But we can unpack the episode and I'll show you guys in a second.
So we start off with and by the way, before we even start everything, spoiler alerts from here on out. So if you haven't watched the episode, go back and watch it. Then you can come back and watch ours. Or if you just like listening to us talk, you can stay here and listen to us talk. And again, thank you, Viking Bitch.
Thank you, Viking Bitch. And okay, so Sling, I'm going to show you guys real quick. Sling, there's like a dog hair in my nose or something. Really sexy. See right there? It says Hilter. So I don't know. That could be something from AMC, but Sling gets stuff wrong all the time. Well, I mean, look at how they numbered the episodes.
Yeah, DirecTV now had the exact same spelling.
Oh, right. So. Okay. So they're missing episodes. Oh, that's right. They only that's weird. That's random how they do that stuff.
Yeah.
That's random. So yeah, it could be. I will have to check it. I don't know who to believe. AMC is the source. So whatever the name of the episode is, we're going to continue on.
Yeah. So we end up starting with Hitler working at Maxi Grinders, which is kind of like a Subway. And he is known now as David Hitler. He's even got the name tag Hitler on there. Yeah. And he's making sandwiches just with a gleeful look on his face. And I love the one fat kid that's there. More. And he's like gleefully putting on avocado and goes, are you sure? He goes, okay. And the mother says, oh, he really likes his avocado. And he goes, oh, you must be proud. And you can tell he's just, waiting for stuff. And his boss comes out, Max, and says he's going to go, the wife doesn't know about some woman that he's met at Target that he's going to go and take a look at and to watch the store for him. And he leaves. And Hitler goes to take a break, and he's out in the back and eating his sandwich. And there's a group of other people from the mini mall, the strip mall that he's in, talking about how, stuff sucks there. They're not getting paid enough. They're not getting any free parking, all that kind of stuff. And so he gives a speech where he starts talking in German and basically starts going into the whole, spiel that he normally does. And no one understands him. And finally the guy goes, yeah, that's right, man.
Right. So yeah, I just real quick, I went to AMC and it's called Hilter. Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah, geez, I don't even know if we're even supposed to show up, but yeah, I don't know as far as content, like what we're allowed to show on the stream, but I don't want to make sure we don't get in trouble. So I won't show that one. Just trust me on that one. No, it was funny. And I don't know why this episode is called Hilter or Hitler. This was it. This was the only scene. He's just working, making sandwiches. But you could see his boss has a haircut like him.
Yeah.
And another coworker has a haircut like him, so you can see how influential he is at work.
Yeah, he's starting to become influential. He's the employee of the month.
Yes.
And he's working on his 4-year plan to take over the world.
Yes. Yeah.
And as he's working on his 4-year plan, in walks the Saint of Killers. And he's like, no. He goes, I'm working on my 4-year plan. He goes, I could use somebody like you in my organization. You don't need to take me back. And he's trying to get the Santa Killers on his side, and the Santa Killers doesn't have any of it.
He's like, I need an interior minister or something like that.
Yeah.
I love that speech he gave, during the break time, and he's eating his little muffin. And
Yeah.
I love what the girl brought up. She brought up that you had to park like 1.5 miles away for work. And that was because we actually have to do that work. We have to park so far away.
Me too. Yeah.
We have to park.
And I have to pay for it too. So, yeah. So, and of course, behind the Santa Killers is Eugene,
Yep.
who Hitler is not thrilled to see. And Eugene says, I shouldn't have let you out.
I never should have trusted you.
Yeah. So of course out walks Max, Hitler's boss, because he says, you're coming with me. And Hitler tells him, yeah, he's going to take me back to hell. And Max is like, no, you're not taking him. And Santa Killers kills Max immediately.
Backhands him and twists his head around.
Yes.
And yeah.
And of course he ends up taking Hitler with them and putting him in chains, and they're walking away. And Hitler's got a knee brace on too after being hit by the car when he escaped, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, and they walk away, and we get the credits, and that's it.
That's all of Hitler.
Yep.
That even though the episode is titled after him.
Yep.
Which was very weird. So we have Jesse and Tulip setting Sabina's body on fire out in the swamp. They're basically having a Viking funeral, but with gasoline and swamp gas. I'm kind of surprised that the swamp gas didn't ignite out there. And just as they light her on fire, a helicopter comes in, and we find out the Grail has shown up with Hairstar and Featherstone.
Finally.
Yeah. And then we cut over to Cass, and Cass is telling the Children of Blood as he's playing pool down in Mima's basement there about drugs in the 60s and how they're really good, not like they are today. And
no, he said the drugs were iffy in the 60s. He's all, the biggest misnomer about the 60s in Woodstock was, the drugs were really iffy back then. Basically, he was basically saying like everybody romanticizes, the 80s or the 60s. And I always think today is better, which I totally agree with Cassidy. Live in the moment, baby.
Yeah, that's what he says. He says, live in the moment. And so when Icarius comes in and goes, hey, I want to show you something. And he shows him this coffin that he got for Cass. And Cass is like, hey, he goes, I don't sleep in a coffin. He goes, beanbag chairs and bathroom floors is usually it for me.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
TMI.
And so Icarius says he wants Cassidy to turn Lisa at the blood ceremony tonight, because we're having another blood ceremony tonight. It's going to be Lisa, and I want you to turn her. And he's like, I don't know about this. And he goes, yeah, just don't worry about it. He goes, I have a reason for it. He goes, trust me on this. And Icarius, by the way, is supposedly sending all these newly turned vampires on missions out into the world. So, the newly turned guy from last week is being sent on a mission. He's going to be sent on an airplane. He's not going to technically fly away. He's actually going out on a plane.
And what she's explaining it to Cassidy, like what they do in their mission, they made it look like a commercial, like a Scientology or a Mormon commercial, which was pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Making the world safer for people like us.
Exactly. And Cassie's like, well, in that case, if he's trying to do that, okay, that sounds good, And that was the prediction I had right there was, Icarius is not doing that to these people.
This is Preacher. Okay,
Yeah.
This is freaking Preacher. Like I was all there laying it really thick on this one, so I can't wait. The payoff is probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah. So Hairstar is wanting to make a deal with Grandma to borrow Jesse. And he says, he goes, we can provide you with whatever you want. He goes, I can pay you. Just let me know what you want. And he's basically condescending to Grandma. And she pulls out her catheter tube and dribbles piss onto his shoe. And basically says that she wants souls. That's pretty much all she wants. And then you can borrow Jesse once she gets her souls. And Hairstar says, okay, well, I'll work something out. Hoover then calls and says that he may soon have Hairstar's leverage that he needs because they're
this is great.
Yeah. And we see Hoover run across the street into a church, goes into a confessional, and the priest asks him, what does he have to confess? And he goes, Frankly, Father, he goes, I've been thinking that I want to wear Miley Cyrus's skin as a pelt.
Which is the secret word. And he goes down an elevator, and there's a bunch of Uber priests in there. We got a nun like hitting a punching bag, and
Yeah.
they're all like yoked up with no sleeves. And they're
training.
vampire hunters, which is great.
And he says that he wants to go and capture a vampire.
Yep.
And they all turn and look at him, and they're like, okay, we're in, you know. Let me go back to and actually he's talking to the Monsignor that's down there. So the Monsignor is the one that is the vampire hunter. TC in the meantime, so it's TC, Jody, Featherstone, and Tulip. They're all in the kitchen as they're waiting outside while Jesse, Hairstar, and Grandma are talking in the room, you know, all the adults. And TC tells Featherstone that he can fix up, you know, he's really good with wounds and he can fix her nose.
She goes, talk about how, I took a pig's heart and put it in a dog. It didn't die for 2 days. She's like, it's cool. I'm happy with how it is. It's fine.
Yeah. And so Jody goes, oh, what happened to your nose anyway? It looks really shitty. And she goes, oh, I got sucker punch.
He's all, you got nose cancer?
And of course, Tulip goes, no, you didn't get sucker punch. You saw it coming. She goes, I did not see it coming. That's why it's called sucker punch.
Yep.
And so we end up, she also tells Tulip that Tulip is a drag on Jesse, that if it wasn't for her, he would have been out of this mess a long time ago.
Yep. And that she finally made the right move by bringing the Grail in. But as much as they were fighting, I was expecting them to make out any minute too, because we got some of that later.
Yeah. So then Hairstar says he can get her souls from the Japanese conglomerate that's out there. And
Soul Happy Go-Go.
Yes, Soul Happy Go-Go. And but before they can do that, Jesse, Tulip and Featherstone start fighting outside.
Yeah.
Before they can close their deal there. And Grandma's like, what the hell is going on? And so we have Jesse and Hairstar come out, and they're like, okay, you're going to Osaka. You're going to go and infiltrate the Japanese bank out there. And, we're going to send you, Tulip, to go out there and do this, because my men are, kind of few and far in between. And Jesse realizes at this point that Hairstar's lying about everything.
Yep.
And Hairstar's like, yeah, he goes, I have to do things on the down low right now because, the Allfather, basically, if the Allfather finds out what I'm doing, I'm screwed. He goes, I'm very close to dying at this point.
I'm 2 butt cheeks away from being paste or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so they end up sending, they're going to send out Tulip, Featherstone, and Jody to go and raid the Japanese conglomerate out there.
Yes.
And they're going to infiltrate the Soul Happy Go-Go, as it's called.
Yeah. Silhouetted animator says Soul Happy Go-Go sounds like something from Super Robot Monkey Team. Kind of does. It's supposed to.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
And I love how Hairstar, he says they have millions of souls in there. He goes, it's like Willy Wonka's Oompa Loompa room.
Oompa Loompa room. His delivery is so perfect. Like I said, he needs his own YouTube channel.
I was writing down quotes of his because it was just making me laugh.
Oh, dude.
It's like Willy Wonka's Oompa Loompa room. It's awesome.
Loompa.
Yeah. So we end up having Lisa going through the blood ceremony with Cass, who of course can't remember any of the words.
No.
Yeah, the children of blood are actually helping him along with this. So he bites her, turns her into a vampire, and of course we see her teeth come out.
Yes, and she puts the other teeth in
in the terrarium. Yeah,
in the terrarium. That's right.
Yeah, and so we find out Soul Happy Go-Go is the target, and he gives Featherstone and Tulip their IDs. And when he gives it to Featherstone goes, "Can I have a limp?" He goes, "You and your limps."
You and your limps. My father, what was she?
About how her nose was all busted up. How are you going to explain that? Well, my father, I was really, I like the way my father did this, so I followed in my father's footsteps.
He was a professor at Caltech, and she's like going into her bathroom.
Like, whatever. And he's like, whatever, fine.
I love what he's giving her the location of Soul Happy Go-Go, and it's right near a sushi place. And just remember to, if you have time, and to keep your receipts. So really Tulip's
ID is going to be Janie Finch from HR. She's also going to be a Grail operative. And
I love how they're both from HR.
Yeah, And she goes, no. I'm always Marnie. Always Marnie. And Jesse agrees too. He goes, no, Tulip's always Marnie. That's her other ID. And I'm like, no, she's Janie. She's Janie Finch now from HR. And here's your white suit that you're gonna wear. And she is not happy about that. She does not want to wear the white suit.
Mm-mm.
So Jesse and Tulip go out and talk in the hallway. And of course, she mentions the O'Hare curse again. He goes, knock it off with that O'Hare curse bullshit.
And she
And
talks
goes,
about what a dumb idea it is, which it is.
Yeah.
It's like Preacher's pulling kind of a weird alias thing, as we have to get this to go get this thing. We need to get the microchip in Mozambique and then go over to Honolulu to find the computer to put it in or something like that. That's kind of where we're at right now. Grandma needs the souls. And yes, Mary Ashby, Grandma needs to die at this point. It's like she's really good. She's really good at being bad, but it's
spinning wheels,
running a little long. Come on, guys.
Yeah. And yes, Moo Fanobi, I like that. Oompa Loompa Doopity Doo. I've got some juicy Lucy souls here for you. Yes. And I love how she says, well, what, she goes, what's going to happen? She goes, Featherstone's going to push some buttons. We're going to get into a fight, and then it's going to be the O'Hare curse all over again. He goes, you know what? If she just bothers you, just close your eyes and breathe. And she looks at him like, really, motherfucker?
Yeah, right.
I love that. So Cass and Icarius end up going out flying because he says, you want to get out of here? It's after the blood ceremony. And of course, they almost do the Superman thing where he kind of drops Cass a little bit, and then he jokes and grabs him, picks him back up as they're flying. And I did want to, like you were saying, last episode, the whole Superman, can you read my mind?
Yeah, I was still waiting for that.
I'm still waiting for it too.
Hearing Cassidy say that would be comedy gold. I would.
Yeah. And no, what would have been funny is, can you read my mind? And having a Icarius go, yes. Well, yes,
I can.
That would be hilarious. That was something they missed.
How can you do that?
Yeah, exactly. What the hell, man?
What the hell, man?
So yeah, they go and drink some absinthe, and Icarius mind controls the bartender to start making out with them. And Cass tries to do this with he turns to do this with two women, and we see him getting successful, but then he looks over his shoulder to Icarius is working on too. He goes, hey man, he goes, I don't need any help. And he goes, oh no, you look like you were struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I was just giving you a little push, that's all.
And so they end up outside, and of course Icarius is in his cat form, and they're talking while Cass is laying on the sidewalk. And they're just talking about how far along he's coming, and how it's going to take some time, and that he's not feeling it yet, even though it's been a couple of hours, and the change hasn't happened.
Yep.
And Hoover we see off in the bushes with the Monsignor, and they're spying on Cass and Icarius, and they're like, oh, is that the vampire, the one with the cat? We're like, yeah, that's the one. So they end up making a plan to capture Cass, of course, at this point. So we see Tulip coming down the stairs, and of course she's wearing the white suit, and she goes, I don't want to hear a word about this suit. And of course Jesse has to say, that's a nice polyester blend.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. And Tulip ends up telling Jesse that when he's in New Orleans to go check up on Cass, he goes, oh, I'm sure Cass is fine. She goes, no, go check up on your friend. And of course he doesn't want anything to do with them. And of course TC mentions, he goes, I'd come with you, but I'm not allowed on airplanes anymore ever since I watched planes.
And once they leave, Star and TC are in there alone, and he's, I like your hat. I made a hat out of possum guts once. Well, no, right.
What I liked before that was, Jesse and Tulip have their nice little goodbye, the flirty goodbyes, whenever. And then Featherstone is trying to go, I'll call you too, sir, when I get to the airport. Why?
I'll text you.
I'll text you. Why?
Why?
I'll let you know when the mission's done, sir.
So we're still waiting. I mean, this is all like halfway through the episode, and we're just like getting dressed, talking about leaving, getting in the plane. It's like, okay, guys. I mean, it's funny, it's entertaining, but come on.
Yeah. And so when TC is talking about having a uncured possum guts hat that smelled to high hell, Star pretends to be on the phone.
Yeah, you can hear the dial tone going on.
And TC, of course, is waiting right next to him, which is pretty funny. So Jesse goes in to go talk to Grandma, and she's trying to keep Jesse from going. And of course, she threatens him. She goes, if he doesn't come back, she's going to rip him in half and eat his soul, just like she did to his mother.
Yep. That was
Pretty
hardcore.
evil. Yeah.
That was really, really evil. And at that point, you even see Jesse's like, oh, I'll promise I'll come back.
Yeah.
I'll come back.
Because remember, Jesse, whenever he promises, that's what he'll do. That's what supposedly,
Yep.
So Icarius and Cass are walking, through the streets, and they're talking about how far he's come along in his progress and his powers, which is pretty shitty at the moment. And when Cass gets hit with a trank in the chest, and he's like, "What the?" And he gets a couple of them, and he goes down, and Icarius gets blocked in by some UV lights.
Yep.
So we see this nun come up to Cass, and he's laying on the ground out cold, and she spits on him. She says, "Vampire scum." And he goes, "Tranks, huh?" He goes, "Funny thing is, I built up an immunity to those." He goes, "How about you?"
Tolerance. How good's yours?
He picks one out and just jabs her in the leg, and she goes down. And then he just starts taking out people.
Yep. But then we think Icarius is dead. He gets Icarius's clothes, and they're gone, and he looks all bummed. And then, of course, he's still alive. He's a mouse. He's like, "How'd you do that? You can do a mouse too. That's cool." And then they basically make out after that. So I saw that coming.
Well, yeah, because Icarius, basically what Cass is saying, he goes, "I got this international group of hitmen. They're coming for me. They're going to chase me all over the world." He goes, "I can't do it." He goes, "What do you mean we? It's us." He goes, "They're going to come after us."
I'm like, yeah, he's totally evil at that point.
And so he kisses Cass in order to bring him in. And we see Tulip on the flight, on the 16-hour flight. And, Featherstone has grabbed her magazine. He goes, "Hey, I was going to read that." She goes, "Well, you weren't." She goes, "When I'm done, you can look at the pictures." And of course, Jody is asleep in front of her, and she keeps kicking his chair, trying to get him to wake up.
He's in a white suit too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you can hear over the intercom, "Enjoy your 16-hour flight." And she's like, "Oh
Jesus."
Yeah.
And then we find out about Icarius.
Yes. So Icarius is in the car with Julie. And Julie's like, "Well, we better get going. Otherwise, I'm going to miss the plane." He goes, "No, there is no plane." The funny thing is, he goes, I'm not releasing another vampire scum out into the world. And she goes, "Well, what do you mean?" She goes, "I'm supposed to be out there on a mission making the world safe for vampires." And he goes, No. He goes, "I'm the worst vampire of them all." And then he attacks her and basically kills her. And then we see him, we see this field with all these burnt,
body silhouettes on the ground.
Body silhouettes.
So I'm
and
thinking
that's where hers is.
It might, we'll see. So he might be the worst vampire of all.
Yes.
He might. We'll see.
Yeah, so he's been dumping the bodies out in the sun to go and burn up, and hasn't been taking care of them at all. No.
And we got a very, very interesting. Then we have a Star and Jesse together.
Yeah.
And,
so Star and Jesse are in the car, and Jesse's doing his "What if I get my soul back and I don't decide to follow along with this whole Messiah thing?" And that's when he goes, "You know what? We got to stop with these what ifs," is what Hairstar says. He goes, Promise me that, you'll be the Messiah once you get your soul back. Promise me that you won't make me have sex with you."
I know, right?
And he goes, "It will be all good." And so Jesse goes, "Okay, I promise." And he's coming up with these "I'll promise" fairly easily now. He's not thinking about it. Yeah, which is making me think that he's given up on that.
He's just trying to, he still wants to be good, but he needs to get away from grandma. And this is the one creepy scene is we got TC giving grandma pedicure.
Painting her
fingernails, giving her a full pedicure. And she starts talking about like, what's a Genesis? And she's like, "Dumbass, it's a book from the Bible." He's all, no, what's a Genesis? And she's like, "How in the world did you Theodore Charles, how do you know about that?"
Yes, where did you hear about that?
She must know.
Yeah, and then Icarius, we see him coming comes back down to Mima's basement there and climbs into the coffin with Cass. At first we think he's going to eat, like chew on his neck there. But no, he climbs into the coffin with Cass and they close the lid.
They chewed on his neck a little bit, but
he did, but a different way. And so Star is in the elevator with Jesse. And by the way, he had Jesse put on a bag on his head so he wouldn't see where they were. And he says, "So my soul is here," and he's like, "Yes, in the lobby. It's waiting for us when we get there." So they're going up in the elevator, and he goes, "You'll get your soul back as soon as you kill him." And he goes, "Kill who?" And that's when Star pulls out a gun, puts him to his head, and the door opens, and we see the Allfather standing there. And the Allfather says, Jesse Custer, very nice to finally meet you.
Thrice blessings or something like that.
Yes.
And then I won't tell you what happens in the scenes, but the scene spoils a couple of things for next episode. So they either must be not important or I don't know, but I don't know why the hell they did that. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
You don't want.
I heard it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say what happened, but come on, AMC. So let's get to the chat. We can do the chat for about 20 minutes tops because we have another show to premiere tonight. But 20 minutes is good. 20 minutes is good. Thank you all for joining us in the chat. Of course, if you're a new subscriber, we recap the episode and then we get to you because it really isn't about what we think. It's about what you think. Hello, random game user 42. Good to see you. I saw you on the stream with Doomcock earlier on Midnight's Edge After Dark. It was excellent. Go check it out when you're done watching us. They talked about Star Trek stuff. So let's get to the chat, man.
All right. So, yeah, sorry, they were talking a lot about NASCAR here. So I got down to the place where we were talking to. Yeah, I know.
What?
Don't ask me. So Viking Bitch says, Grandma is nasty. Yes, she is. She's very nasty.
She's very nasty. I mean, she's well played. It's just going a little long for me.
Yeah.
Okay. It feels like they're stretching stuff out. Maybe it'd be better if Preacher was just 10 episodes, right? I think it's 12 or 13. So
13, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it'd be better if it was just 10,
Yeah.
Xfinity says Hilter, says Penn Farm Girl. Yeah, that's what AMC says too.
Yeah. Silhouetted Animator says at Viking Bitch, yeah, that scene where TC paints her toenails was nasty as shit.
That was. Movie Finobi says that was the name on his name tag too. I just saw. It's weird what the mind does, but you're right there. Thanks, Movie Finobi. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Hitler as well, so I got to go back and take a look at that.
We all see what we want to see.
Yeah. Movie Finobi says, I knew the other vampire was up to something. What's with the damn Lois Lane shit again? Haha, he almost dropped him fooling around. Yeah, I really do wish they just leaned into it. They really just needed to lean into it. Especially if they just did it where, can you read my mind? Well, yes, I can. That would have been perfect. And just would have been, the nutty thing that is Preacher, honestly.
Yes. And hello, goodbye to Grady Broyles, who said, hi, bye, off to watch the episode. Love you guys. We love you too, man.
All right. Yeah, Move Finobi says also, Grandma needs to die.
Yeah, it's time. Well, you'll find out what happens. You will.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they sprinkle in comic stuff, so they have actually done a pretty decent job doing that, considering the format of the series. And I mean, the comic is really out there. You would have to to really do it right. You need a bigger budget.
Yeah, actually, Silhouetted Animator has a spoiler for the comics here. I'm going to read it because he says, I wonder if they'll acknowledge that Grandma is the Allfather's aunt in the show. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Well, you know what? I didn't think they would bring in the Duke, even though they did it in just a dream sequence. And I thought that was a really clever way to do it. So they could.
Yeah, it's very possible.
It's very possible.
Jody says, such a funny passphrase. Miley Cyrus's skin is a pelt. I guess you never just casually say that or accidentally say that. I say that all the time. I don't know about you. How about you, Gary? I know you've said it to me a couple of times.
God. I whisper it into my wife's ear every night.
Mm-hmm. He says it in his sleep.
And your ear too. Mm-hmm. Every night.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Movie Finobi says, lick that like button, everyone. Exactly. Just lick it. Yes. Lick, like, and subscribe. There we go. Mary Ashmead says, it's true though, her curse, even God says that she's cursed. Yeah, for Tulip with the O'Hare curse. I don't know. I think God's fucking with her though. I really think God is fucking with her, to tell you the truth. So
yeah, well, I can't say anything.
Yeah, I know.
Because no spoilers. Those of you who've read the comic know what's up. I mean, they've changed some stuff, but you know what's up.
I do love everyone saying that Tulip will fuck it up. She messes up everything, and I think that's what I like about Tulip is that even though she messes it up, she still gets the job done, even though she does it in her own way. It does get messed up, but she does it in a way that actually makes sense.
Yeah, and well, everybody is a fuck up in this. Cassidy is a
Yeah.
royal fuck up. Jesse's a ginormous fuck up. I mean, like, it's not just Tulip. Poor
And
Tulip gets
even
picked on.
God is a fuck up too in this as
God is a
well.
giant, well, made in his image or anything.
Yeah.
God is going through a midlife crisis,
Mhm.
and we all want to put on a dog suit and ride a Harley.
Well, it wasn't a Harley, wasn't it a Vespa or something
No,
like?
no, it was a Harley. I
It
think
was
he
a
was on
Harley.
a
That's
Harley.
right. It
Yeah.
was. Yeah. It would have been better if it
Isn't
was
it
a Vespa.
sad? Like Harleys used to be like late 80s, early 90s. They were like really badass. And now you just think of like boner commercials when you see a Harley, boner drugs. That's all I think of.
Yeah. Yeah. Movie Finobi says awkward flirting from Featherstone.
Yeah, that's what it felt like, the whole Tulip and Featherstone thing, or with of course with Star. It was weird. I was like, well, yeah, because Star. The only way Star can actually get off now is at least in the comics, the only way he could get off is if he's remember that thing that happened in season 2? That's got to happen now. They got to do
I forget. What was it again?
when he is bent over his desk.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
By the guys. Yeah. Like, yeah, that's the only way he can actually get off in the comic books. Well, it's worse than that. A little bit worse than that. But
Yeah. There goes my morning erection.
There goes my morning.
It's that's one of my favorite lines that he's delivered from. It just makes me laugh every time. Jody laughs. Will they play the Lois Lane theme from the Superman movie when they do that line reference? They should have. They really should have done. Can you read my mind? Even the music from it.
I bet you they couldn't get the rights. I mean, they had to. These are nerds we're dealing with here. They thought of it. Come on.
They still could have just done the lines itself and not had the music. They still could have done it and gotten away with it.
Funny is that they would have played Wrecking Ball in the closing credits too. Just shout out to good old Miley.
Oh, and so how TC had heard about the Genesis, he heard about Genesis was through Featherstone and Tulip bickering in the kitchen.
He overheard it. Yeah.
And so that's how he found
out.
So
yeah, and Madame Angel would know about it. But there's your connection right there. Then yes, I think she will end up being his.
The aunt
because she knows about it. So.
Yeah, I think she has some connection. And that was the other thing too that was kind of funny was that Hair Star was saying that he can bring them slaves if they want because their the quarters are empty. He can get her own TV show. He can drag them out of the 19th century, as he says.
Right.
So he was being very condescending to her, and that's why she pulled out her catheter tube and just let piss dribble on his shoe.
Yep.
Movie Finobi says, Gary Dennis, do we know who that guy killed last week? Which guy? At the hotel.
Oh, the Boyds? Jody killed all the people at the hotel. Yeah. It was the Madame Boyd's henchmen.
He killed everybody.
Yeah.
So that was just,
Yeah, they got taken right out of the picture, just like that. So,
Jody says, given that setting is in New Orleans, I was hoping for some Vampire Chronicles references, but it's all good. Yeah, they do have that subtly with Icarius, and I'm sure they can't do it fully because Anne Rice is working on bringing that to Amazon now. So I'm fairly sure she's going to be, her and Amazon are going to be fairly acutely aware of anybody who's making fun of it. So they're keeping
it's the best form of flattery. It's absolutely the best form. So, I think it's good to have it. I think she'd be very happy for it to be out there in the ether, for people talking about it, even clowning it, Apocarius Rex, Albacasarius. Man, I got to say that slow. Albacasarius Rex says, that's what I thought it might be. There has to be something going on with him killing all the newly turned vampires. Yes. Yeah. But there's something more though. I think there's just maybe it's maybe he's a self-loathing vampire just like Cassidy was. Maybe he's actually worse.
Well,
he says he's the worst of them all, or maybe it's something else. Who knows?
And he's also said he's killed hundreds.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really kind of interesting. Excuse me. Harley's little sister says nothing beats that opening scene from last season with the gunshots. Yeah, that
Damn
opening of
straight.
season 2, the
Whoa.
2 episodes, those first 2 episodes were awesome.
Those
And
three, yeah, they were so good.
And that was Seth Rogen and Goldman, his writing partner.
Yeah, they directed those episodes. That was
Yeah.
really, really good. Which, like, that's a good sign for The Boys.
Yep.
Which is currently filming right now. Everybody.
And it was kind of funny. I was telling Gary about the show also on Amazon called Future Man, or not Amazon, on Hulu, and they wrote and directed that as well. They're the producers on that, and I started watching it. It's pretty good. It's not as good as some of the other stuff that they've done later on, but you could see where they were kind of going, where they were starting to feel out how they were doing things on screen for the small screen. And yes, The Boys is going to look amazing, I believe. Penn Farm Girl says, Alpacasaurus Rex. Does he get his power from drinking other vamps? And Cassidy being older would give more power? Yeah, you know what? That's what I'm thinking too, is he's fattening up Cassidy for the kill. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
So, and he's playing him hardcore at this point. Silhouetted Animator says, I'd love a Sandman series on HBO, though. Yes, we all would. Probably not HBO, but something better than that. Maybe Netflix or Amazon. Amazon would be the best, of course. Yeah. Excuse me. Silhouetted Animator also says, the only way I could see Preacher fitting in the DC multiverse is if the heaven, hell, angels, and demons were exclusive to that Earth's universe, but not the rest of the multiverse.
Yep. Like the Santa Killer shows up from Earth 53 through a portal and blasts Dr. Manhattan into nothing with his kill anything guns. Silhouetted Animator. Dang.
Yeah, and Movie Fanobi actually comes up with a good point here too, that they think that he's getting more power from vampires. He converts them, then he eats them to get their power.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's why he can turn into cats and stuff like that. And that's pretty cool. But that's where I think he's getting it from too. Jody says, good point, Dennis. Will you guys cover that show when it is out? Would love to know what you all think of the upcoming Vampire Chronicles series, and Amazon's gonna rock that, right? I think they could. If anybody could, it's Amazon, and we'll cover it. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I've read the books, and honestly,
so
I think I got up to everything before she became a born again Christian. Then she fell out of that again. So, yeah,
I like the books. I thought they were pretty good. Yeah,
and yes, Future Man was really funny at the time. They're doing a season 2, so that's a good thing about that. And Jody says, good point, Dennis. Will you guys? Okay, you already did that.
I just read that one. Yeah, we're at the end here.
We're at the end, yeah.
I just watched the Watchmen's director's cut. Still didn't understand it, but Slurmy Scott, that's like one of my all-time favorite movies. I hate to admit it, but I absolutely love Watchmen director's cut. I adore it.
Ed Brewer, hey, how's it going?
Brewer's in the house. What's up? Thanks for Ed Brewer posted on Facebook. He got his Patreon gift and was very kind.
Nice.
And thanks. So we really appreciate the kind words, Ed Brewer. You're class act, buddy.
Exactly.
I would love to see Santa Killers versus Dr. Manhattan. That'd be fucking that's awesome. Preacher, the comic series, has seriously my favorite ending to any series ever. For any long running series, I love the ending to the Preacher comic. You're welcome, Ed Brewer. So we're gonna bow out because we got another show to cover tonight. So apologies, Preachers fan, but I bet you there's a lot of crossover here. Bet you there's a lot of Preacher fans who watch the Venture Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So the Venture Brothers is back. It started right now. So we're gonna go watch the Venture Brothers at about 9:45-ish. We'll be right back here talking about new Venture Brothers. I've been looking forward to this all damn day. So, and it was a good episode of Preacher. It was a little bit of a filler, but it was a good episode of Preacher. This is an improvement upon season 2. So I'm cool with it. It's not as good as season 1. I don't think we're going to get that again. Season 1 was special.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe this show will survive. I don't know. Like I said before, if I compared it to Cloak and Dagger's ratings. This show is watched more than Cloak and Dagger, although Cloak and Dagger is on Freeform, but it's also followed up on Hulu the next day. So people can't really bring the Freeform argument when you can see it on Hulu the next day. So I don't know. I'm liking the show. I don't know about what. Tell us what you think, Preacher fans. We'd like to hear what you think when this turns into a video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Dennis, why don't you thank the people in the chat, and I will get the Patreon video going.
All right. I want to say hi to Tara Aliyeva. She just said hi. She came in.
Hi, Tara. How you doing?
And good night to you as well. She's taken off. So
that's cool.
Thank you,
appreciate
Mary Ashmead, Movie Fanobi, Viking Bitch, Tara Aliyeva, Alpacasaurus Rex.
That was it. I couldn't say. I can't read Alpacasaurus Rex. Sorry.
Yeah. David Hill, Tarka Jedi, Pen Farm Girl. Excuse me. Silhouetted animator. Excuse me there. Benth the Mailman. Some of these Slurmy Scott, Harley's little sister, Rubicon Alpha. Jody. I said Ed Brewer already. I did. Agent Future, how's it going? And I know there's a few more people in here that we have. Yes, we do. And well, I am seeing a lot of the same people. So I'm just going to say, if I missed your name, welcome and thank you, everyone. Raymond Verada, there we go. I knew there was somebody else. And JP. JP was in here. JP.
Well. Excuse me. And you're seeing our wonderful, beautiful, and talented patrons. We do have some more. We're going to be adding that to the video. I think we're up to 39 now. That's really unbelievable and humbling and great. So before we go real quick, I have been very busy at work. Work has been nuts. I've been putting in like crazy hours. Plus there's a big commute. So I haven't had a lot of time to answer comments, questions, messages. Tomorrow is the day. I've set a bunch of time aside tomorrow to answer those. But I also have another big announcement for tomorrow that you're not going to want to miss. 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. Doomcock will be here. Doomcock and I will have a conversation about. I don't know if there's really not a lot to talk about. Maybe Patrick Stewart, the Terminator, Star Trek Discovery. I don't know. We'll talk about whatever. But we're also I'm gonna make sure to talk to Doomcock. I want to find out what Doomcock likes besides The Expanse. So we're gonna find out stuff like that. So please join us for an hour. That's gonna take place for the Nerdrotic Nooner. Yes, it's only an hour, so I might do an extra show after that. If you guys are up for that, tomorrow it's another big day tomorrow. We also have Better Call Saul, which is I just said fuck it. I like that show. It's kind of out of our wheelhouse, but it does fall into Drug Deals Gone Bad, which does, I guess, we're into wizards, spaceships, and drug deals gone bad. So, and also we're going to be trying out a new show, and Susan will be joining us, Dennis. And it's called Lodge 49. So that we're going to Nerdrotic premiere that, which means we're going to try the first episode, see how we like it, see how you like it. So it's double head. It's 3 podcasts tomorrow night. So
wow,
or tomorrow during the day, I should say. Yeah. And yes, all hail Doomcock. All hail Doomcock. Like I said before, random Doomcock and Midnight's Edge After Dark did a live stream a couple hours ago. Definitely check it out. It's really good. It's a little over an hour long. Very entertaining. Very entertaining. So thank you again, everybody in the chat. Go to nerdrotic.com for our live schedule. Dennis, take us out.
Children of Earth, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you're going to be conscripted into breaking into a Soul Happy Go-Go in Osaka, Japan. But remember to keep those receipts to be reimbursed.
If not, then Hilter can make you a sandwich. I don't know. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Ciao, everyone.